Welcome to our November online event. I'm Nicole Tschetter, the Public Relations Manager with Denver Rescue Mission. If you have been following our virtual event journey this year, you've seen me a couple of times, and I'm super excited about our virtual event today. We're going to bring you into our kitchen and give you a first-hand look at two of our very favorite Thanksgiving recipes prepared by our own chefs at Denver Rescue Mission that you can easily prepare for your own holiday table this year. You'll also hear personally from one of our chefs about his story for participants in the New Life program. Later, we look forward to sharing with you how we're serving our guests experiencing homelessness this Thanksgiving in the middle of the pandemic and how we're going to be serving the community through our annual Turkey Drive event. We are in full gear and we are ready to make a big impact this holiday season, especially now when the need is greater than ever. We will also share with you the ways that you can make a difference this Thanksgiving by joining us in our turkey drive, by volunteering, or by making a donation. So let's dive straight in from our kitchen to yours. We hope you enjoy this special inside look at preparing for Thanksgiving with Denver Rescue Mission.
I'm walking down here and I hear somebody say, hey, the Denver Rescue Mission is feeding. I'm like, I'm going down there.
Today we're going to be making some fried mashed potato balls. This recipe is an important part of the rescue mission because it came from a man who worked his way through all of our programs and then was eventually able to give back to the homeless community at our holiday banquets. One time we decided not to do the mashed potato ball recipe, and it was the worst idea. All of our guests and our staff members alike kept coming up to us and asking, where are the mashed potato balls? So ever since then, we've had mashed potato balls at every single holiday banquet. For us to give just an incredible warm meal during our banquet season is just a really special opportunity. When somebody comes in here and sees that we've really given our all to these recipes and we've put love into it, it helps them to feel seen, it helps them to feel heard, and it gives them just a moment of hope that they are not forgotten. For a healthier choice, just give them a spritz of nonstick spray and then pop them in the oven.
All right. We're gonna make a pecan pie today. Everybody likes pecan. Who doesn't like pecan pie? Well, it's really important to me to make sure that each one of our guests feels special. So during the holiday banquet season, we come up with actual menus that would remind them of hopefully really happy memories from when they were a child. This is the first recipe that I learned how to make with my grandmother. It reminds me of my childhood, and I know that it's going to remind some of our guests of their positive experience as well. When I came to Denver Rescue Mission, we have served it at every holiday banquet since. I make sure that the entire food service team calls the guests that we serve guests. And that is because we want them to feel special, we want them to feel dignified, and to be treated with respect. The other thing is anybody can be homeless. We don't know what caused people to become homeless. But what you can do is say hello to someone that you see on the street. And if you do that, that's gonna make people feel special. And what better time to do that than at Thanksgiving?
So, you know, I've been cooking for over 30 years. You can put me in any kitchen and I'm comfortable. I'm at home. I'll make it work. It's just a sense that I have. I'm the ma and pa kind of cook. You know, I'm the basic home cook. I want some meatloaf, mashed potatoes, some green beans, and some biscuits maybe. Yeah, that's my kind of cook. Or some fried chicken with some mashed potatoes and some mixed vegetables. Ooh, with some pecan pie. Watch out. The best thing for me to do is give you a nice hot meal. Here you go. And I hope this meal betters your day. It just makes you feel worthwhile. I was homeless, and me and my brother, we came down to get a meal, and I told him, I said, you know, I wouldn't mind working here. I could do this job. Well, I didn't know that I was actually going to end up here in the program. About maybe 3 months later, I ended up coming back through the program. And first thing they did was put me in the kitchen. And I got back there and done it. It was like, hey man, I'm like at home. It's like I never left the restaurant. It's fun to show what I know instead of say what I know. You know, I'd rather show you. You know, give me the product and I'll bring you a meal. My main goal at the Denver Rescue Mission is help somebody graduate. Give them the tools to help them graduate. Give them the tools to help them make a pecan pie. Give them the tools to fry some chicken. I want to see somebody out there on the street, if I go through Walmart, hey man, you work here? Yeah, man, I've been here for the last 2 years. Yeah, that's a goal, you know, a successful goal for me is, and know that I had a little bit to do with it. Yeah, I work with Blue in the kitchen. He taught me this, he taught me that. He taught me how to sharpen a knife. It goes a long way. It goes a long, long way. Oh yeah. Oh. 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 This is a good pot, Kelvin. I ain't mad at you. You might have to give me the recipe. That's good. That is, I love that.
We hope you enjoyed that special presentation from inside the kitchen here at the Mission. Mashed potato balls and Kevin's pecan pie are two beloved favorites at our holiday meals. And we hope you will enjoy bringing those to your Thanksgiving meal at home as well. If you elected to receive a gift box along with your registration for this online event, you'll find the recipes inside those boxes. We'll also provide the recipes by email as well. So let's bring on the unstoppable Kevin Baker, Denver Director of Food Services, to answer a couple of questions. Remember, we are so excited to have you here with us today. Kevin, thank you so much for joining. As some of our viewers may know, we currently are operating 24/7 shelter facilities at the Denver Coliseum and 48th Avenue Center. Also, we are currently offering meals at the Lawrence Street Community Center downtown. There has been a lot of pivots and changes this year. Kevin, what will Thanksgiving look like at these shelters?
Well, hello everyone. And, kind of first off, for the past 2 years, and really even before that, we were able to do these big banquets and big celebrations, but due to COVID-19, we have really had to kind of think about from a different perspective, how can we make sure that each one of our guests feels special? So we are going to be serving Thanksgiving meal very similar to like what most people would make at home. And that's just kind of how we're going to make sure that each one of our guests at our 48th Avenue Center, our Lawrence Street Community Center, and the Crossing facility feel special during this great time.
And Kevin, how many meals do you guys plan to serve around Thanksgiving time that, includes that traditional meal that you just talked about?
Yeah, right now we are serving on average in the city of Denver over 1,600 meals a day, and we expect that to go up a little bit more for Thanksgiving. So we are planning on serving and have the ability to serve around 1,900 meals a day here in the Denver market just during the Thanksgiving week.
That's absolutely incredible, Kevin. And in order to make our Thanksgiving meals possible and to also provide Thanksgiving meals to those in need in our community, we are in the middle of our annual turkey drive. Some of our favorite moments are during our turkey drive, and we're aiming to collect 15,000 turkeys. Kevin, what do we do with those 15,000 turkeys?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. And so what we do is we utilize those turkeys to make the meals that we serve at all of our locations, not only in the Denver area, but in northern Colorado. We also partner with about 120 different agencies from around the city of Denver, different nonprofit organizations, churches, food banks, and things like that. And we hand out the bulk of our turkeys that way. And then one of my all-time favorite events that we have coming up next week is our Thanksgiving banquet in a box, where we're going to give out 3,000 complete meals for Thanksgiving. So that box is going to come with not only a turkey, it's going to come with green beans, some canned fruit, canned sweet potatoes, ingredients to make a pumpkin pie. Cranberry sauce, kind of you name it, and stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy. So that's how we give out the largest portion of them at one time. And it's just a really exciting event. And we're going to do that next Tuesday at Empower Field at Mile High.
And Kevin, you kind of touched on it right there. We are asking for donations of 12-pound frozen turkeys. But what other items are we really just asking the community to also donate as well?
Yeah, and please, when you donate the turkey, please make sure that it is frozen. That really helps. So we are looking for canned goods. So if you think about what is a non-perishable food, that's really what we're looking for. Non-perishable food is, frozen or canned vegetables, canned fruit, instant stuffing, instant potatoes, shelf-stable milk, salt, pepper, things like that. That's really what we're looking for during this time.
And kind of, segueing just a little bit, Kevin, what does it mean for you to serve people who may not otherwise have a Thanksgiving meal without Denver Rescue Mission?
Yeah, I really have been thinking about what it means to me, because my wife asked me this question the other day about Thanksgiving. And so I would like to say that the Apostle Paul tells, while he is imprisoned in church, writes to the Colossian church. And so in Colossians 4:6, it says, "Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone." If you read that verse in the Message version, it says, "Make the most of every opportunity, be gracious in your speech. The goal is to bring out the best in others in a conversation, not to put them down, not to cut them out." And what it really is, what it means to me and how that relates to me in Thanksgiving is that's what we're meant to do. We're meant to go out and sprinkle the truth of Christ to others. And we do that each and every day. We do that during our Thanksgiving meals, where we show our guests just a little bit more about how special they are. And, you always want to make sure that you're bringing people to Christ and making sure that they always have the opportunity to ask more questions when they just have questions. And food, to me, is the best way to do that. If you look at our staff of 20 chefs from a diversity standpoint, we have people from all different walks of life, different races, genders, ethnicities, and things like that. And what we all do is we all make the same food, and we all sit around at a table together and you eat the same food. That's what Thanksgiving is really all about.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Kevin. And kind of piggybacking off of that question, I hope I'm not putting you on the spot here.
No, go for it.
But you get to work with incredible people who are in our New Life program every single day. Is there a particular story, working with these people who are transitioning out of homelessness or out of substance abuse that kind of stands out in your mind that you'd like to share today?
Yeah, and I won't share the gentleman's name, but when I first started with Denver Rescue Mission over 2 years ago. There was a gentleman that was from Austin, Texas, that came up here, and I am a Central Texas guy. and I love my home state. And so I was able to connect with him on that level. And he was doing really well, but he fell into the same trap that a lot of people do when they're experiencing homelessness and addiction, is that when he was about to graduate, he self-sabotaged and went back to his drug of choice. I happened to see him at our Lawrence Street Community Center about a week or so later. And I walked up to, he's got a coat on, completely hiding his face. He's so ashamed and all this stuff. And I walked up to him and I, said his name and said, "Hey, how's it going?" And this was back pre-COVID. I gave him a big hug and I told him that I'm just glad to see him and just to say, stay safe. Well, fast forward 2 months, he goes back into the program. He has now since graduated from our new life program. He has spent the past 6 months in our STAR program. He's doing really, really well. I just saw him 2 days ago, and every time I see him, he comes up and tries to give me this great big hug. And that's really what Denver Rescue Mission means to me is, hey, we are just imperfect people that work here, but we serve a perfect God. And if we do that and we do that correctly, then he will make the difference in other people's lives. And so that's just why this is so important to me, that we serve our guests with dignity, that we serve our guests with grace, that when we have to give them truths, the hard truths, that we do it in a manner that doesn't put them down or push them away, but that they understand the consequences and that they're willing to come back to the table and try again.
That's an absolutely incredible story. Thank you so much for sharing, Kevin. On a lighter note, here is a fun question for viewers and also myself who are preparing to make turkey for their own Thanksgiving meal at home safely, which I feel like a lot of families, we would normally, gather with all of our family members, and that one, token family member that makes the turkey, may not be there this year because we're all socially distancing and having our own Thanksgivings at home. What is your recommendation to make a perfect turkey at home for all these individuals? And also for me, I really need this cooking help.
Okay, well, this is awesome. So making a turkey it can seem incredibly intimidating, but it's really not. It's really a very, very simple process, but it does take time. You have to be willing to check on something, check on your turkey in the oven, put in the work. But if you do that, it's just like with life, you put in the time at the beginning, then you're going to get a great product at the end. So a garlic and herb butter roasted turkey is really, really good. So I have a real simple recipe. It's 4 ounces of salt, 4 ounces of butter that is unsalted, 1 teaspoon of chopped fresh thyme leaves. If you don't have fresh thyme or fresh rosemary, don't freak out about it. Go to the grocery store, go into the spice section and get the dried stuff. But if you are using dried ingredients for like fresh thyme or fresh rosemary, and it says use it, and you have a recipe that says use a teaspoon of the fresh thyme leaves, and you only have dried, use half of that amount. Okay. And then 4 teaspoons of minced garlic. And if you don't know how to cut, don't know how to use a knife, which I have heard from a little birdie that Nicole does not always know how to use, does not know how to use a knife properly. So buy the stuff at the grocery store that's already minced. It's great. All right. And then salt and cracked black pepper, however much you like to use to taste. Now here's the secret: is you want to mix all of that stuff. You want to mix that together, but you don't want it to melt. And mix it all together, and then take that. So it should be about 4.5 to 5 ounces of everything in there. Split it in 2, because you want to use one portion of it at the beginning and then another portion while you're roasting the turkey. All right. So you split that in 2, and then make sure that the bird is completely defrosted. If you are roasting a turkey, do not try to roast it frozen. It will not work. And if something's supposed to take 3 hours, it will take about 10. And it will come out dry. And so just don't do that. All right, make sure that the turkey is completely thawed out, and then you have to dry the turkey. And so everything, and when I say this about turkey, think about if you want to do a roasted chicken. So you're now going to get 2 recipes for the price of 1, because you can do everything that's in this recipe for a chicken or a turkey. Dry off the turkey, okay? Use some paper towels and just damp it and dry it off. I promise it will help. Here's another little tidbit. For your roasting pan, put aluminum foil in the bottom of the roasting pan. Make it go up all the way over all 4 sides. You can use the lid for the roasting pan if you want to, but you can also just use the aluminum foil and wrap the turkey on top, wrap it over that. And the reason why you want to do that is because that way, if let's say that you forget your turkey in the oven for 10 or 15 minutes, it's going to boil, it's going to bubble over into your roasting pan. It's going to make it much harder to clean the roasting pan. The aluminum foil, parchment paper works too, but aluminum foil will actually, you're not going to leak over into the roasting pan itself. So you just don't, that's one piece of kitchen equipment that's easier to clean. All right.
Kevin, are roasting bags a good idea in this step of the turkey process? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's say that it's somebody that has never cooked anything before. They have a great product that's out there. You can go to the grocery store and buy it, use the roasting bag, or they even have turkeys that already have salt and pepper and everything else in them, and they're in a bag, and you just buy the entire bag and you put the entire bag in the oven. You follow the directions on the bag and put it in the oven. It comes out great. So, but roasting bags are great. And that's also why I like to use aluminum foil more so than the lid on a roasting pan if you have an actual roasting pan, because it helps seals in the moisture and it makes the turkey a lot more moist and delicious. All right. So here's the other big secret for turkeys. Let's say if you are, or chickens or anything else like that, make sure that if you have something like this herb butter that I was talking about, it goes on top of the skin, and lift up the skin and put it in between the skin and the meat. It's going to get messy. Your hands are going to get oily. If your hands are like mine and they're always dry here in Colorado, hey, it's just a win for you, because now your hands are a little bit, have a little bit of butter on them. So it's not a big deal. Make sure inside and out. Also, here's a little tidbit of information for you that probably most viewers don't know about me. I despise lemons. I don't like them. I don't like cooking with them. So anytime there's a recipe for a lemon, I switch out a lemon for an orange. So this recipe that we'll have posted online for you guys later has oranges in there, but you can feel free to switch them out for lemons. But you do want a little bit of citrus anytime you're roasting a turkey, because that citrus, just especially when you put it inside the cavity of the turkey, it just kind of helps moisten the turkey a little bit. Okay. So you just do that, and then you put it in the oven. Now here, preheat the oven for 425, because you're going to do that for 45 minutes to an hour at the very beginning. And you want to have it really high. Make sure that all the shelves in your oven are out except for the bottom shelf, because you want the turkey on the bottommost rack of your oven possible. If you put it on the top rack of your oven, you're going to pull it out after 45 minutes and you're going to have a completely burned top of the bird, and everything is going to be raw elsewhere. So do that. Take the bird out, open up the foil, and then you're going to have all these wonderful juices in there, and that's what you're going to use to baste the turkey with. If you don't have a turkey baster, that's okay. Use a spoon. Just be careful, because it's going to be hot. And use the spoon and just drizzle the juices on top of the turkey. And you're going to do that every 30 minutes to even up to an hour, until the turkey reaches an internal temperature of 165. And you want to do it at 30 to 45 minutes is usually the average. If you have a turkey that's over 14 pounds, it's going to take you an hour to do that. And after about an hour and a half, you want to lower the temperature of your oven down to 325. And then let your oven, then every 30, 45 minutes, take the turkey out, put some more juices on there. If you want that skin really crispy, put more of that butter on there at about the 2-hour mark. And you don't have to melt it. Just put the butter back onto the turkey. It'll melt instantly. And then the best guide to use is 13 to 15 minutes per pound is how long it takes to roast a turkey. So if, let's say you have a 20-pound turkey and it takes 15 minutes to roast, it's going to take 300 minutes, which is the equivalent of 5 hours. So there is the good idea. All right. And most people don't. And please, when you check the temperature of the turkey, do not use a human thermometer. Make sure it is a meat thermometer, because meat thermometers are different. And you want to check that you want to go between the breast and the leg of the turkey. That's the place where there's the thickest amount of meat. And you want it to have an internal temperature of 165 degrees. But if you kind of use that guide of 15 minutes for every pound of the turkey, it's going to come out great.
I feel like I'm ready to go, make a turkey right now, Kevin.
You can do this.
In the oven?
Yeah.
With these instructions, you think I'm ready?
Yes, I do. You can do it. And if all else fails, go to Walmart or Target and just buy a turkey in a bag and plop it in the oven, and you don't have to do anything else, and nobody will ever be the wiser, because those turkeys also come with an internal thermometer that when it's ready, it pops out.
I love it. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for being part of this online event today. I know you have a team of 20 in food services, so we just want to extend a huge thank you for all you and your team continually do to serve those experiencing homelessness here in Colorado. Food, of course, is a huge part of meeting the physical and emotional needs of those experiencing homelessness. Your team is incredible, serving 1,600 meals every day here in Denver and another 300 in Northern Colorado. For those watching, we invite you to join us to make a difference this Thanksgiving season in a few different ways. The first is our turkey drive. We need frozen turkeys, along with all the fixings for Thanksgiving, which include canned vegetables and fruit, instant potatoes, and stuffing. Our drive is going on until Wednesday, November 25th. We are so grateful to the community. We've been able to collect 7,421 turkeys so far, and so we're still asking and reaching. Our drop-off locations are here on the screen for you. You can also make a donation to support the turkey this year. You can do that by texting turkey to 24365 or by visiting denverrescuemission.org/turkey. That is a convenient way to support the turkey drive without even leaving your home. And you can also volunteer with Denver Rescue Mission this holiday season. If you are healthy and feel comfortable, we need volunteers to serve meals throughout the holiday season and winter. There are shifts available for every meal at the Denver Coliseum, 48th Avenue Center, The Crossing, and Lawrence Street Community Center. We also have volunteer opportunities at our warehouse, what we call the Ministry Outreach Center, to help with donation sorting. We ask that if you do volunteer that you are under the age of 65, not experiencing any health conditions, and are comfortable doing so. You can catch all of our volunteer opportunities at denverrescuemission.org/volunteer. And before we end today, we just really want to take the opportunity to say thank you to our very generous sponsors and partners in the community who've shown us tremendous support during our turkey drive and through COVID-19. Through your financial support and words of encouragement, you've been really able to ensure that a turkey makes it onto every single table this Thanksgiving. I do want to mention you'll receive an email with a recording of this event, the recipes that Kevin and his team whipped up as well in that email. We hope you'll give us your feedback on today's event as well. In this season of Thanksgiving, we're so thankful for you and for your support of Denver Rescue Mission. We wish you and your family a happy and healthy Thanksgiving and holiday season. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.